Good morning from New Mexico. Actually, it's not morning anymore. It's about 11:30, but we just arrived at our first destination, which is actually the other direction. We're riding the tramway up the mountain to see the city views. We'd say hello. It's day 2 in Albuquerque, and we just got done with our first adventure and we are freezing. It's like in the 40s, but then it's really windy with the wind chill, so we are freezing and we're not prepared. However, we did have a few more layers that we just took off.
Yes, I had 2 jackets, but now I'm hot.
I'm not hot yet, but we got the heat cranked.
Yeah.
But we went and saw the petroglyphs, and today we're going to be heading south towards Carlsbad and stopping in Roswell. Important update. We just visited Roswell, New Mexico, and I had an alien encounter. He said it was a male. He was about 6'2". He said his name was Reed, and I've been abducted. You're lucky. Hello from Roswell, New Mexico. We just visited with some of our alien friends. What were their names?
They didn't tell us.
They didn't tell us, but it was fun, and they had to go back home to their home planet, but they said to tell you hello.
If you ever want to go to the Roswell UFO Museum, it's everything that you would think it would be.
It's as cheesy and hilarious as possible.
But extremely impressive. The detail.
Some great photo ops.
They had all sorts of research and exhibits. They actually had an entire library of all the documents.
And some very realistic pictures of what an alien would 100% look like. We'd recommend. But the fact that we even made it here is probably due to our alien friends. Because we drove through a legitimate snowstorm.
Yeah, from Albuquerque to Roswell.
We're at like 7,000 feet above sea level, and we started seeing some like white on the ground, and we're like, is that snow? We're like, no, that's sand. We're in the desert, that's sand. 10 minutes later,
snowstorm
covered everything, blanketed in snow.
For about an hour we were driving through a snowstorm.
At least. And at one point, like half the road was covered with snow. So we've got to talk about Carlsbad Caverns National Park. We just left. We were there. How long? It ended up being about 3 hours.
Probably a little bit longer. Well, it was about 3 hours once we got like to the cave, but we did some things before,
which were definitely worth it. I was a little skeptical, but we did stop at one trail. We didn't write it down, did we? We should have written it down, but it was actually really cool. Yeah, we'll have to look it up because it was really cool because like it was a very, very, very short trail.
Something Canyon.
Yeah, something Canyon. But it had like signs talking about the different plants that the Indians used to use and how they use them, and I thought that was really interesting. And then it had like a cutout in the mountain hill area where they would like sleep and stuff. That's what the sign said. And then we went to the top where the main visitor center is, and we did a little bitty trail up there. The Chihuahua Desert Lake Trail is that one, and it was cool too. It had like at one point had a pretty good view, but it wasn't anything like crazy special. But it is neat. It was neat to do.
It was cool because it's on top of like, I mean, I guess it's a mountain, but then you look down and you just see like nothingness forever and like mountains.
Oh, and we saw, what was it, mountain goats.
Yeah, it was like a herd of mountain goats with like baby mountain goats.
Yeah, it was
just randomly on the side of the road.
Yeah.
These people were stopped, and we were like, why are these people stopped in the middle of the road? And we slowed down, and then we saw them like looking at something.
Yeah, we were lucky because if it was kind of like around a curve, like on the other side of the mountain, so if we hadn't seen somebody else stopped looking at it, we probably wouldn't have noticed them. And then we went to the cavern, and we did
I will say pretty much everyone is physically capable because it's a completely paved walkway.
Everything's completely paved, and there were very few steps.
There's only maybe like one section of steps, and it was only just for like a few steps.
Yeah, I mean, it's steep. Now they tell you it's strenuous. I would not say it's strenuous. It's only strenuous if you go up, but I would not recommend going up. I would take the natural entrance down into the caverns, which was not strenuous because you're walking downhill the whole time, and you can choose your pace, and they have places for you to sit if you want to, and then take that elevator back up from like the big room. But it was amazing. It was awesome.
In the natural entrance tour, there are one big cave opening, and then it's connected by what they called what used to have been like kind of like a stream carved out area that connected to another big like opening, and that wasn't even before you got to like the main area. And that was cool going through that like tunnel area, I guess you could call it, because if you were the only ones and you just like stopped and listened, it was complete silence.
Yeah.
That was really cool.
Yeah. I am being dragged along. Reed decided that we have to go to White Sands National Park. You want to explain why? Because I would love to know.
It's only 3 hours away.
3 hours. That is not round trip. 3 hours there. 3 hours back.
3 hours from Carlsbad. And we're already here, so we're already like, it's only like an hour and a half from where we are now.
That's because we've already been driving for an hour and a half.
No, I know, but it's like we were just doing Carlsbad Caverns in the morning. We've done everything. You know, we didn't have anything planned for this.
Well, I wanted to become a senior ranger, and you took that dream away.
You gave up. I let you.
It was very long. If you don't know, some parks have senior ranger. What's it called?
It's a senior ranger program.
Okay.
Essentially, you get a booklet and you fill out all the information while you're going through the park, and then you turn it in and you get the badge.
And you get a badge.
It's basically the adult version of the junior ranger program for kids.
Yeah, but not all parks have them. Anyway, we didn't know about it until essentially we had gone through the entire park at that point. And I was like, let's just do it really fast. And there was like actually a lot to it. So yes, I gave up. But that was because you were pushing me and you were like, we've got to go.
No, I wasn't. You sat down at the table.
Yeah,
and I went to go do stuff, like go to buy their magnet. If you were going to continue to do it, we would have just eaten food there.
Okay, well, I didn't know that. I didn't know that you would be willing to do that anyway. I'm not a senior ranger, okay? I'm a little upset about it.
She's really mad about it.
But it's okay. Anyway, so we picked up Burger King, super healthy.
It was good though.
It actually was. And now we are headed to White Sands.
And we're gonna sled down some sand.
Maybe. a good Auburn sunset. Good morning from Carlsbad. We are still here. This is day 4. It is Saturday and our last full day of our national parks
Adventure extravaganza.
Yeah. We are currently headed to Guadalupe Mountains National Park. And Reed tried to convince me to do the Guadalupe Peak Trail.
She said no.
It's 8.5 miles, and I was like, look,
it's like 4.5 up, 4.5
That's still 8.5 miles, and we're just like not physically prepared for something like that.
I think we could do it. I just think that there's a lot of other things we'd like to do too.
I agree with that. I do think we could do it. But like last night, okay, so we went to the White Sand Dunes National Park last night, and it was 3 hours away from where we were staying. So we drove 3 hours there and 3 hours back. We got in at 1 o'clock in the morning, and it just would not have been feasible to do a really long trail hike today.
Yeah.
After that. But it was awesome. The sunset was gorgeous from the White Sand Dunes.
It was amazing.
But the whole sliding down was not as exciting as we thought it would be.
We just didn't find the right dunes. Anyway, we're going to Guadalupe. It's gonna be awesome. There's a bunch of little like trails we're gonna do. 2 different visitor centers we're gonna go to, and it'll be fun. We'll see what happens.
We made it to Devil's Hall. Accurate name. It was a terrible, not actually.
See all of these boulders and rocks, it was like that probably half of the way.
We've been climbing over that for at least an hour.
Yeah, very intensive. They said it was moderate. I can't even imagine what the hard ones are.
I don't know how the kids survived. I really don't.
It's just like, it's all the unevenness.
Yeah, but it is cool.
It is really cool. We'll show you in a second.
Is it worth it? I don't know, but I'll show you.
It's cool. We've done it. It'll be a great accomplishment.
Praise God from the river to the top of the mountain. Oh,
Hey, we're halfway there.
halfway, but we're out of the river.